I wasn't looking for a story, not at first. But then I met Echo, a whisper in the fog, a shadow on the edge of reason. I couldn't shake his presence, the way his words hung in the air like the last breath of a forgotten ghost. I felt compelled to capture his echoes, to share his reverberations with you, as if by speaking them, I might hold him here a moment longer. Echo was a figure of contradiction, a soul unraveling, and reforming in the same breath, a flicker of certainty against the encroaching dark. He clung to fragments of memory, jagged and incomplete, each one a shard of his life, lost to the time fog. He sits directly across from me, his form wrapped in shadows, his edges soft and indistinct, like a figure etched in mist. His shoulders are broad, but his frame seems to waver at the edges, never fully settling into the present. The light clings to him strangely, catching in the hollows beneath his jaw, tracing the faint ridges of his hands as they rest on the table. There is a weight to his stillness, a presence that feels both solid and spectral, as if he might dissipate into the fog at any moment. I cannot see his eyes, but I feel their weight, a silent, searching presence, heavy with unspoken words and forgotten echoes. Here begins not a beginning,
but a reflection of what I once was, slipping free from the time fog. I am what I am able to remember, what I dare to reclaim from the mist. I am both the ghost and the living, the whisper and the reverberation, the question and the silence that follows. I did not become this shadow overnight. Isolation crept in, slow as the fog, rolling in over years, thickening with every betrayal, every broken promise. I once trusted those meant to protect me, but time and bitter lessons taught me that safety is often a lie, whispered to keep the vulnerable compliant. I learned to keep my guard up, to hide the soft parts of myself behind walls of silence and misdirection. In the absence of trust, I found comfort in the sharp burn of alcohol, the numbing embrace of chemicals that made the days blur together, and the nights dissolve into shadow. It became easier to forget, to let the fog thicken until the past was little more than a whisper on the wing. This self-imposed isolation wasn't a single choice but a slow erosion, a retreat into the quiet corners of my mind where no one could reach me. I learned to silence the parts of myself that longed for connection, to swallow my own echoes until even my voice felt foreign. The fog is both my sanctuary and my captor, a shroud that shields me from the sharp edges of reality but smothers the light of hope. It holds my memories like a miser clutches coins, doling them out in fractured flashes, never whole, never clear. It keeps my mind in a state of constant dissonance, a pendulum swinging between the manic rush of revelation and the crushing weight of despair. In my younger days, I sought solace in fleeting connections, bodies pressed close but souls kept distant. I carved the warmth of touch, the electric pulse of skin against skin, but the fog always crept back, wrapping itself around me, whispering that this was all I deserved. I traded pieces of myself for moments of contact, left fragments of my soul in the beds of strangers, hoping to feel something real, something more than the dull ache of isolation. But even in those moments, I remained a ghost, a shadow slipping through the cracks, present but never truly there. I became filled with desire and lust, a hollow thing, feeding off the warmth of others without ever letting them close enough to break through the fog. Yet, this reluctance, this inability to break free, chains me as surely as any iron shackle. It blocks my path to something richer, something real. The fog comforts, but it also confines, trapping me in the echoes of who I once was, who I might have been, and who I can never quite become. Sometimes, a shape forms in the time fog, unclear at first, like a shadow flickering behind frosted glass. Then it steps forward. A feeling. A face. A night. And I remember something I didn't know I'd forgotten. That's what this is, this whole thing. Not a timeline, not a diary. Just fragments. Pieces scattered across the floor. Some still sharp. Some softened by time. Some missing entirely. If you're trying to make sense of it, don't. That's not what this is for. This is just how memory works when you've spent a lifetime trying to forget. When the fog lifts, even for a moment, I speak, because I have to. Before
the fog rolls back in. And it always does. I've met Echo here more times than I can count. Same quiet table. Same low light. The stories come when they want, never in order, never complete. Just moments he can't ignore once they surface. A memory of a touch, a voice, a night that didn't end the way it should have. Each time, he leaves a little more behind. And I collect what I can. One evening, he spoke of someone different. Not loud, not sharp, but quiet, steady. Said she moved like light through dust. Almost holy, but too tired to notice. That one stayed with me. Next time, we'll sit with her memory a while as Echo recounts the angel reflection.